What's up, nerds? This is Nerds Gone Rogue Radio, NGR Radio for short, episode number 61. For you fans of weird sports trivia, it's the Maris number, the number that Roger Maris beat out Mickey Mantle to score the single most amount of home runs in a season that was eventually beaten by steroid-laden people in the 90s. Or early 2000s, or whatever.
Mark
McGwire, Sammy Sosa did it.
By the way, have you seen Sammy Sosa lately?
Yes. Yes.
Is he like a deflated?
He looks pretty white.
He's almost as white as I am. It's yeah, but I honestly think like the he had a similar thing happen to, and hold your jokes, Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson did have a pigment disorder, and that is actually a real thing. I see it actually predominantly in my day-to-day life. Just working.
I'm not saying that it's not.
Well, some people do.
Holy crap!
Michael Jackson has good music.
Had good music.
Some of it was good.
He had two good albums, one mediocre one, and
you know what, Matt? I'm contributing to the music conversation. You should just appreciate it and shut up.
You know what? I completely overlooked that part. Yes, I should. Congratulations, Derek. I'm going to pour out some tired hands for you because you actually dropped some music knowledge.
Yes.
Whatever.
Does that really count as knowledge?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, as long as you didn't do, like, in the late 90s, VH1 did a documentary series on the greatest rock albums of all time. And the only sound clip, or the only video clip that had a country artist, like a shitty country artist in it, was Garth Brooks, like, nervously going, "Oh, one of the greatest albums of all time is Thriller." And that was it. You never saw him again. But yeah. So good for you. You and Garth Brooks are like right there.
Please don't compare me to country music. If there's one music genre,
you got friends in low places. What can I say?
I'm assuming that's a title of one of his songs, and I'm not.
That's like his second biggest hit, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, so episode 61, and I'm going to open it not with my topic because I really don't have one because I haven't been paying attention very much. I'm going to do a little housekeeping. This is going to be my last NGR for a while. I'm not leaving. I'm taking a break. I know. Moose is all sad. He was so happy. Because then he could say he took part in the podcast that's still ahead of his.
No, you know what it is? Moose is just upset because we have to put 20 questions on hold.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's judging you.
And that was his idea. That was his idea because he's a class act.
I thoroughly enjoy 20 questions now. I'm just sad that y'all got my last one, so that's why I'm.
We can still play it with our guests. The points just won't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We could.
Yeah, I don't see why not. And
I think the points should count. He's the one removing himself from the podcast.
True.
To do his personal stuff.
I'm not removing myself from the competition, though. And the competition can only move forward with all present. And since it was your idea, fuck you. It's put on hold. No, I am taking some time off because, as we've said multiple times on the show, I do work a lot. That's not really the issue, but that on top of I'm going through a move. I am currently moving in with my girlfriend. And
yay!
Congratulations!
Thank you. And I actually think this space needs to be redone.
As does this space.
Well, you at least looks like you didn't just throw shit up one day because you had a podcast to do.
Actually, that's exactly what I did.
Oh, really?
It looks decent, though. They both look good. They're better than mine. I mean, look at. Mine's like paintings and shit.
We get it, Moose. You broadcast from your grandma's basement. I get it.
I do.
You got some plastic on that chair you're sitting in.
But I want.
No, but this chair is my grandmother's chair.
It's fresh. He took the plastic off when he got it.
But no, I want to redo this space, and I know that like between doing a move, working as many jobs as I do, podcasting needs to really. I need to just step away. Rather than forcing myself to make time for it. Not that it's a chore, because one of the reasons I do make time for it is because I love these two chuckleheads. I love the guys on the Brew Review, and I love Brian on Matt and the B Flats. I think the only thing that'll probably still have me on it is Matt and the B Flats, for the sole purpose that they won't do it. They won't continue without me. It's not like they just refuse to do a 2-person show.
That's understandable.
And I mean, it's something I kind of disagree with, but I'll try and make it happen when I can. And they keep weirder hours than I do because they're kids. But you know, I had a chat with Corey and Moose, as well as the guys from the Brew Review, and you know, everybody had been really supportive. I thank you both for giving me, you know, just the chance to just step away and get my shit sorted so I can come back and be the crazy Matt that I refuse to stop being. And hopefully I'll have time to play video games in the interim. Yeah. But yeah, it's just something that just sort of needs to happen. So it is currently September 18th. And I gave Moose and Corey and the Brew Review guys like last week of October, first week of November as my return date. Chances are I'll be back well before then. Or it could be, that's just my maximum. Yeah. Because I will go through seeing Corey and Moose withdrawals. So that's, well, I mean, Moose, I can't help but just, you've been with me for longer than Corey's been with me, and I love you both. And seeing Corey this a few weeks ago here was just like, I was actually like genuinely nervous, because I'm like, I talk to this guy every week, but I don't really know how to interact with him in person. So I was just trying not to be weird.
But you are weird, so
there's that.
Okay, man.
Okay. And then, you know, like the few times now we've hung out, Moose, you know.
Good times.
Well, look, when we had, I think it was our second fireside chat, we had a really serious talk about, you know, if we ever had something big go on in our lives and we needed to step away, you know, we would always have each other's backs. Like if something happened to me, you would obviously host and be there when I wasn't here, and vice versa. And we've hit that kind of first major point where, you know, you need take some time and move and be Matt and kind of just, you know, take care of some stuff. And, you know, Moose and I have your back. You know, this show, you know, this show will go on, whether one of us is here, two of us are here, three of us are here. Like it's going to go on. And Moose and I kind of decided like we've been really bad about having guests on, obviously, the last like month or so.
That's like 3 times.
But like, you know, we're going to have a rotating third chair and possibly a fourth until Matt comes back. And, you know, the show's going to survive. You know, maybe it won't
survive. Damn it!
I don't know. Maybe Matt's the fire, and our numbers will go.
No. Well, I mean, you know, then it'll just give Moose and Jason something to brag about. I'll come back, and we'll just be fire all over their faces again.
Yeah.
But you know, with that, I'll do the last. I'm sorry, Corey. With that, we're also putting on hold the 20 questions competition. I don't think we had set a date for the end, did we? Was it
27 end of 2017?
Okay,
so I think it'd be like the 31st, whatever that week is.
Okay, so like, well, that'll just resume when I get back, and I hope to get back here soon so I can keep increasing that lead.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't need any more chances to catch up.
He's like, I'm done.
I'm playing for pride now. I don't even care.
You got a point on the board, and well, you got 2 now, don't you? 2 or 3?
No, I still only have 1 Moose. So.
No, he got 2 because we got his.
Yeah, you got
2.
mine. Yeah, you got mine, so you got two.
Oh yeah, we did. Okay, so I got two.
No, you got a turd on the board. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay, but now with all that, everything, nothing will change about the show. It'll still be here, and I will be back. I guarantee it. Meanwhile, what you guys playing? I played a game. I played a game.
Why don't you go first?
I was gonna say,
I played one game.
What'd you play?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Oh, jeez. Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
That's 2. I played Spelunky. I played Spelunky.
I should have known that.
I got
Meat Boy.
No, I Meat Boy. I can't. I need to go back to it, but every time I even start it up, I'm like, nope, it's not there. But I got to hell in Spelunky again. I got to the second to last stage before Yama.
For the second time, right? This is only the second time you've been to hell, right?
Second time I've been to hell. The first time I just died stupidly because me. And then this time I actually had enough resources to be able to work with a plan. And it was going really well until I met an enemy that I just hadn't seen before, and it killed me. So it actually added to my death journal, which is cool. And I'm almost fully complete on all the enemies I need to beat, so that'll be a trophy. And once I beat Yama, once I finally beat Yama, I think once I beat Yama, I will put that game down because I'm not gonna try Speed Monkey. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Just forget that. There's some trophies that I'd like to get, but it's just far.
It doesn't have a platinum, right? You were just trying to.
No, it's just 100%. Well, I wasn't even trying to go to 100%. I want to beat the game. It's a roguelike. Right. It's a roguelike that I've not beaten. I'm like, right. I want to beat that game.
You still need 100% Galaxy, don't you? Mm-hmm. What you doing, man? What are you doing with your life?
Drinking beer, having a good time.
Drinking beer, listening to records, working, fucking playing tabletop games now for some dumb reason. No, but I did actually play another game of Guild Ball. I actually did this one sort of by myself where I had the 2 kickoff teams, and I just I'm really fascinated by the mechanics of that game. I can't wait to get more teams, put them together, and paint them. So, which I am in the works of doing. And yeah, awesome. Tabletop gaming is actually really cool when it's not saddled by D&D bullshit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. And I'm afraid of Warhammer. I'm just no.
Afraid of it as in you don't want to try it, or afraid of
there's too many pieces.
See, here's the thing: if you want to play Warhammer with somebody, and if you because I don't have a lot of friends that tabletop here, so I have to go out into communities, and that you've gone into video game communities, guys. You know how shitty we can be.
Really, a video game?
No,
community?
Never. Right?
Yeah.
But you go into when I showed up this first night playing Guild Ball, I'm like, I see all of you have models painted. All I have is the stuff that came with kickoff. It's not painted. It's all. They're like, oh, that's fine. You can come play with us. And I'm like, well, and then I looked at the Warhammer guys, and they literally said, yeah, that wouldn't fly here.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they won't let you play unless your stuff's painted.
And I'm like, what if I'm just trying to learn how to play the game? They're like,
yeah, you can't learn to play the game until you learn to paint and then paint your miniatures.
But then I asked them well, why though? And they're like, well, at a certain point, it gets actually confusing if you have a bunch of miniatures that are the same color, which I get. If you have 2 different sides of a conflict, and both of them have indiscernible aspects about him, you don't know who's who, and I get that. At least with Guild Ball, there's there's a sport to it, so it's just it's literally 6-on-6. And
isn't it also different teams? You could be playing as the human. Is it kind of like Blood Bowl where
no, it's
so you can play human against human or dwarf against dwarf or whatever the pieces are.
It's Blood Bowl. I actually as much as I've learned about Blood Bowl, and I learned about Blood Bowl because of playing the PS4 game, which is fun, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's Blood Bowl with way less dice rolls, and you can move. You don't need. You're not tethered to a grid for movement, and and I think in the tabletop version of Blood Bowl, everybody on one side activates and gets to move.
Yeah, and then the others take, and then everybody on the other side goes.
Whereas Guild Ball, it would be like if Moose and I were playing, it would be one of my characters, then one of his, and we're going back and forth the entire time. And it actually combines there's a lot of chess type of strategy in the game, and there's some Magic the Gathering in there as well. But I also like the idea that there are no rules in terms of painting the miniatures. My girlfriend is Jewish, and there's a team in Guild Ball called the Union. So she and I have come up with a funny idea to paint the Junion. And
I like that.
like it's funny. You look at all these like Cloak and Dagger type mercenaries, and we're just going to paint them all Jewish. And they're just like, and just looking at like the story of it. Like one of the things that scares me about Warhammer is there's like 30 years of story. Guild Ball, and same with Blood Bowl, there's 30 years of expansion. And and then you get into, types, then you get into errata, which is fucking weird anyway. But Guild Ball has only been around for basically 3 years. And all of the story stuff, it doesn't start as like thousands of years ago, this happened that spread this. And it's like, hey, you're in this world, and it actually compares a lot to like real world soccer and like the tribalism of that. Like for instance, NFL fans here in the US think that, they're the best fans in the world. You guys don't know what being a fan is. It's not just going to, wherever the Eagles play, chanting EAGLES, proving you can spell, and going home. Like a lot of fans, especially like in the smaller English teams, the smaller Italian teams, like those teams are the economic and social centers of the cities that they're in. And I think Guild Ball taps into a lot of that, and it tells a story very similar to that. I actually think the story is fucking well written too. And it's a nice, cool obsession that I've gotten into, and I look forward to actually at some point playing at a decent level. So hopefully I can.
Nice.
But that'll be well after I'm back. That'll be after hopefully Corey comes to Philly in November, and we go to PAX, and we get him a team, and then he and I can learn how to play Vassal and play online. It'll be great.
Yes.
Moose.
Yeah.
You play games, don't you?
Sometimes.
Okay. What have you played anything recently?
Neo. I'm playing a whole crap ton of Neo.
That game is good.
I think maybe it was the last episode. I talked about starting a new character to try and get accustomed to the controls.
Yeah.
And I got right before the first boss. Well, the second boss in the game, technically. There's one in the tutorial, if you count the tutorial. And so I got to him and was just farming stuff. And
that tutorial boss is a dick, too.
Nah, I don't think we're talking about the same one. The Derek one?
He was a dick to me.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
He was a dick to me.
Okay. Anyways, so I switched to my main and actually started making some progression with my main, and so I decided to stick with my main, and so now I beat the 6th boss the other night, and then now I'm actually fighting the 7th boss. I was trying to beat it before we recorded, but he's like some of the ones in Bloodborne where they're like real dicks. Like one time you can get them like real close to the end of their health, and then they one-shot you, and the next 7 times you try and take them on, they kill you like quicker than you could even imagine.
They're just like, oh, you again.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's like 30 bosses in the game, and then like 4 or 5 dojo bosses, because you go to the dojos to like learn how to hone your skills and stuff. And so I'm just like, this game is going to be crazy long, but I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I've now that I've jumped back into it, it's all I think about. I know, Corey thinks about Destiny all day. So I'm just like, I think about Neo. I'm just like, God, I just want to go home and play Neo and like kill that boss. I'm so close. And like, it's cool because, just like Bloodborne, like you find the boss and then like, you're like, oops, I don't want to go in there yet and like beat the boss. I want to clear the level. Because I found with Neo, once you complete a mission, like you can't do anything else in that area for the main mission. And then there's also, I was talking about revenants, like the old dead NPCs, which are actually players who have died. You can't fight them. So like if you complete a mission, they could be littered throughout like this big, this empty cave, and you can't go and take them on one by one. You have to like exit your mission and leave. So I've been playing Neo. Kind of took a break from Grand Theft Auto. Now that Jeff and Jason and Justin are all now playing Destiny 2, I doubt we'll go back to Grand Theft Auto Online anytime soon. So I think I'll be playing Neo while they're playing that, because I'm not picking up Neo. I'd like to try and pick it up. I don't know, because
you're not picking up Destiny.
Destiny 2. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm not picking it up yet. I don't know. Like I've watched some reviews on it, and I'm just like, I'm like, I don't want to reward Activision for some of the shit that they're pulling off with Bungie. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, I might even just skip it and let it fall by the wayside. But that's just me.
Yeah, and before Corey goes into it, because I don't think you've been playing a lot of Destiny lately. I don't know, Corey. But you'll tell us in a second. And I think like the reviews, I've actually like dug in weirdly on Destiny, because I've been reading about it, and I've been watching people play it, and people are saying, "Oh, it fixes Destiny," and I'm like, I don't really know where Destiny was broken, because I don't think a bad story equates a broken game. I also don't think bad voice acting equates a broken game. I mean, the one thing that I could really equate to Destiny being broken was the loot drop system. I think that like it postured itself as a loot driven game, but you rarely got any loot, or at least any loot worth a damn.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, and Corey, you can correct me if I'm wrong. How right or wrong am I about Destiny 1?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Destiny 1 was broken. It had a lot of issues that have been addressed. Like
flaws. I don't think equate to broken games. I really don't.
For example, like this, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Destiny 1 never had a map system, and Destiny 2 allows you to open a map and see where you are on a map, and shows you the location of stuff on the map. You can jump from planet to planet without going to orbit.
Okay.
All the engrams except for exotics and legendaries now decrypt as you pick them up, instead of you going back to the farm or the tower. Yeah, and anybody who's listening to this podcast knows the tower's in the game, so it's not a spoiler. Yeah. Shut up.
I mean, this came from DNA. You guys had a Destiny podcast. If anyone's gonna gripe, fuck them.
Yeah.
But like, now, just to finish my point before you really dig into Destiny 2, because you're the only one here that can. Like, I think the thing that pushed me away from Destiny was the necessity to play Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't want to log in every day, do all the daily stuff or do the weekly stuff or I didn't care about doing raids. I tried to do that one raid and fell right the fuck asleep.
That was the
best. and then that was the point where I said, you know what, I don't think I'm going to play this anymore. And am I going to sit here and gripe at Destiny 1 because I bounced off it? No. I mean, no one held a gun to my head to pay the money for the Taken game. Nobody did. So whatever. But now all what you have said thus far doesn't really equate to a broken game. It just seems to me that people are looking for shortcuts to bitch about.
Yeah.
And I think no matter how Destiny 2 fixes that, they're going to bitch. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest. There's not one Persona fan, and I say Persona fan, not newcomer to 5, not newcomer to 4. Not one Persona fan will walk into Persona 5 and say, "Oh man, this is fucking bullshit." I mean, like John Martin, when he started Persona 5, he had never played any of the others. He didn't understand like the slice of life storytelling, but eventually it locked him in, and he was like, "Oh, I get it now." And I think that on the same level as like the Souls series and Bloodborne, like there's a certain point where the art isn't responsible for your enjoyment. And that's one of the things I love about just art in general. You have to come to it. It's not there to explain itself. Mm-hmm. And that's why games like Dark Souls and roguelikes attract me, because it forces me to say, no, I'm going to figure you the hell out and do it. And I feel like all Destiny 2 is doing is saying, okay, well, I'll just make all these shortcuts for you so you guys can quit complaining.
Yeah.
But you know better because you've played it. And that's not sarcasm. That's just the truth.
Oh, I know. I know. I've played a lot of it. Yeah. So I actually think like there's not too much to do in Destiny 2 right now. And I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but like, you know, anybody who did the week-long raid crunch to get to the raid has already out-leveled everything that, you know, Bungie intended you to do to level up, because there's already 2 or 3 loopholes that you can do to level up, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the big thing is,
that's just because people figure out how to break it too.
Yeah. So first things first, you do the campaign, and then if you're not high enough level to do the next campaign mission, where there's only 2 spots where you might not be high enough level, you do public events until you level up, right? That's what you do. And then after you beat the campaign, you do public events until you do get to 265, and then you find the exotic quests and you do your milestones, which the milestones they take place of the weekly bounties that you had in Destiny 1. They're just given to you. You don't have to go pick them up or anything. And then they give you like powerful engrams, which legendary and powerful engrams are both purple, but they're 2 different engrams, which is kind of weird. Legendary
only Destiny.
And like, you know, you can level to 265 with legendaries, or actually like 270, and then powerful engrams decrypt at whatever your light level is or higher. And then once you hit that peak of like 270, then you do your exotic quests. And it's just like that's the rush to get raid ready strategy. But if you like, I don't know, it's weird because like it feels like Destiny designed this game for 2 different people. The person who wants to play by themselves and explore these big, vast planets You know, they like on each planet there's patrols, there's actual missions after you beat the campaign. There's side missions. There's these things called adventures, which give you cool gear. And then each exotic quest is tied to an item that you pick up during these adventures, which is really cool. Like I found this gun from Destiny 1 that I really liked from this exotic quest, and it's my most powerful weapon, and I love using it. But that it kind of defeats the purpose to go back and do those when you put in the week to get raid ready. And, my friend Brian is already raid ready on 2 different characters, almost 3 characters, because, well, he took like 2 weeks off to play the game. Like, and that's like the only game he plays like 10 hours a day. But like the other hand, I think Bungie wanted you to take your time with this game and actually explore the planets and do the adventures and stuff, which all that stuff is really cool. But once you out level it, it just feels like you're steamrolling it. And I don't know, it's kind of wonky, but we did actually try the raid, this is
the Diablo problem. That's what it is.
Yeah. They eliminated a lot of crap, like going to the tower to decrypt engrams. There's only 2 types of currency now instead of like 47. Everything uses either glimmer or legendary shards, which is really nice.
Sure.
In Destiny 1, you had in vanilla Destiny, you had like probably 15 different currencies depending on what you were trying to do. You had your currency for raid stuff, you had your currency for Xur, the exotic dealer, you had your currency for the Cryptarch, you had your currency for the Vanguards, you had your currency for the Crucible stuff. Like, this just eliminates everything, and like you have your glimmer and you have your legendary shards, which is really, really nice. And like I was playing through the game and I'm like, man, a lot of this kind of looks like Destiny 1, which is fine because they'd spent all this time fleshing out like the races and the worlds and stuff, and like Earth is going to look like Earth. It's not like you can really change what Earth looks like.
If you change what Earth looks like, eventually people are going to be like, oh, not more like Earth.
Yeah.
And like, there's the gripes, unless people are going, man, this just looks like Earth. What the hell?
Yeah. I don't know. They still lock you down in these specific zones on each planet, which is kind of like, okay, there's this huge planet and you're giving me like this small radius of area to explore. But the areas are more dense. They have tunnels that go way underneath. They have, some of them have buildings that go like really high up, and like you can go explore and get cool stuff. But then we got to the raid, and everything in the raid, like right when you land, when you land, it looks like a totally different game because of everything they built for the raid. You land on the ship called the Leviathan, and it's the Cabal Emperor's ship, and it looks like it has a bunch of Roman and Egyptian inspired architecture. And as you're walking on this bridge, you see like these Cabal gladiators just like welcoming you to the ship. And like the story behind the raid is like, you've taken down the most powerful Cabal, and the Emperor is rewarding you by inviting you on his ship to complete these trials. And so like everything in here looks like a freaking casino inside.
Even better.
And it's like, why can't the rest of the game like be as crazy as this? Because like, yeah, you land on, you land on Nessus, which is this moon of Jupiter, I think, or moon of Saturn. I don't know. I'm not a science person.
I'm pretty sure it's a moon of Saturn because Nessus doesn't sound like any moon of Jupiter I know.
Yeah. Titan is the moon of Jupiter. But you land on,
there are like 18 moons.
I know. I'm just talking about within the game. Like you land on Nessus and like, okay, cool. It kind of looks like Earth with red grass instead of green grass. And like you can tell like the Vex, which is the robot race, kind of inhabit this area because everything's very square and very
precision based.
Like each race kind of has their own specific architecture and stuff that you can just tell if you play Destiny a lot. Like, okay, we're going to go fight some Vex here. We're going to go fight some Cabal here, whatever. but like you get into this raid and you're like, where is this in the rest of the game? Like there's no like really reused assets except for maybe some of the enemy types, but like, you know, the area is new. Like there's this maze underneath the ship that you go through, and you can find exotic and legendary engrams by pulling different levers and taking this, like weaving yourself through this maze. Like I'm just like, this needs to be in the rest of the game, because this is obviously the best part of what people are looking for in Destiny, is this crazy
shit.
Yeah. And like, I get it. Like doing strikes on Earth is fun and everything, and that's a fun way to play with your friends. But like the raid, they're making the raid way more enticing than the rest of the game. And like we went in not knowing anything. We didn't look anything up. We didn't look at screenshots or anything. Like we wanted to go in blind. And so we got through the first 2 sections of the raid. And tonight at like 11, we're gonna do the second part of the raid. We're not gonna finish it. It's just not gonna happen. But it's way more puzzle and mechanics heavy than it is like just shooting stuff in the face and getting out of there. And like that's part of the fun, is kind of like figuring out the puzzle element of it. But I was just kind of like blown away at the way the raid looks compared to the rest of the game, because none of the assets are reused from Destiny 1, and everybody's like, this looks just like Destiny 1.5 or whatever. And like, I agree with them, except for the raid looks like a totally different game. Like it seriously looks like a totally different game.
Now, I kind of feel like I should chime in here, because I feel like this raid is, and the way that it looks like, way crazier than the rest of the game. I think it's because I think Bungie might have been catering to a console audience first, rather than, you know, just enhancing the game.
Yeah,
and I think,
well,
because I don't know how vanilla WoW worked. Because I've never played WoW. Moose has, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I wanted to really dig into it, we need to talk to Lee and Becky over at Nerd Overdrive, because they're crazy about WoW. But I think like the raids are supposed to be sort of a sum of parts in general. Does that make sense, Moose?
Yeah, they are. Like, you're working towards a common goal.
Like, everything in the raid is like something you learn outside of the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
My thing, I was thinking about Destiny 2 the other day, and I was actually thinking of having a conversation with Jason about it when we were recording our top 5 of the week. But I feel like
we're not good enough?
No, you guys are good enough, and we can have that conversation now. But I wanted to talk with him because he's played WoW. That's why I wanted to have a conversation with him.
Makes more sense. Gotcha.
That's where I was going from. Not that I didn't want to talk to you guys about it, but
Matt, hurry up and create a WoW account and play with it.
I feel
fuck no Deering.
I feel like even though Bungie and Activision want Destiny 2 to be an MMO, it will never be a true MMO. Because I understand that people pay for WoW. Like, you pay a monthly fee for WoW. And I understand that, but you pay $60 for the game, and you're given. So like, the raid wasn't available when Destiny 2 first came out, was it, Corey?
No, the way the raids work, they usually wait about a week.
Okay, so that's
people to get acclimated to the new systems and the
right. Well, that's how they did it with WoW. Like, you jump in, to vanilla, and then they'd be like, okay, well, now we're going to do, here's the first big raid, and then here's the second raid. And so, like, they did it with all the patches, or with all the expansions, too. They released the expansion. They'd allow you to level up your character and do a couple dungeons here or there, and then get geared for when the raid would launch. And, like you said, it's a week later. Well, WoW usually would be like 2, maybe 3 weeks later, sometimes a month after the raid would become available. But I feel I feel like for them to become a true MMO and be as successful at being an MMO, it would either have to be like you'd have to pay for the game, or they would have to start giving stuff to you like for free. Because even though you're paying that monthly fee, like I was paying that monthly fee a while, like you'd get a raid, or you get, oh hey, here's a new 5-man dungeon, 10-man heroic, or whatever, and it gets thrown in. You don't have to wait for an expansion for it. You don't have to pay for DLC for it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've watched a lot of the reviews for Destiny 2, and the ending seems like they cut out stuff that should have been in the game, instead of in the third one, and it's just like stop doing that. Like
that
if
was,
you're gonna make
that was my thing. That was my thing, though. Like I was gonna say this when Matt was bringing up his point, was like this raid, this whole kind of campaign and raid has been rumored. Like it was supposed to be the third expansion to Destiny 1, like the Cabal raid, the invasion of the tower, like you know, the whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a cool premise to base the start of a new, like a sequel off of. But this was supposed to be how Destiny 1 ended. Was like the Cabal were supposed to raid the tower, and you had to take the tower back, and that's the campaign of Destiny 2, is like you fight Gull, who's like the leader of the Red Legion, which is a faction of the Cabal who split off from the Empire and is trying to form their own thing, whatever. I don't really understand. It doesn't really explain it very well. But, you know, and then the raid was supposed to be the last big part of Destiny 1. Well, whatever their deal with Activision was, like they had to split it, which is why Rise of Iron was put together in 7.5 months, and we got Wrath of the Machine to end Destiny 1, which, you know, whatever, it was fine, but like it wasn't really how I would have pictured ending Destiny 1, because like, oh man, this small faction of this race has this computer tech now and is going to take over this little section of Earth, and we're going to go save it. Like, how do you go from Oryx, who has this magical power to take the souls of the enemies you're already fighting, and you know, threatens the entire solar system and the universe, to, oh, we're going to go to this little area on Earth and try to like take out this little computer problem. Like,
yeah,
that it was kind of IT's important, yo. That's all I got.
It is.
I mean, my point is like Destiny 1 kind of fizzled out. Like, don't get me wrong, Wrath of the Machine is a really, really, really cool raid, but like the story and stuff just kind of like fizzled out of Destiny 1, and was like, oh, well, that's how you're going to end this. And then you're going to, instead of giving us this really cool Cabal raid and storyline, which had been rumored since, you know, the second expansion of Destiny 1, like,
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that I hope comes out someday. And like, I want to see how fascinating it is that like, oh, Bungie had these deadlines to meet and they had to switch stuff around and pull story out, move it, all this thing. And like the darkness from Destiny 1, they came out and said, oh, we wrote the darkness out of Destiny 2 because we had no fucking idea what the darkness was. So we just wrote it out of the game. Like,
I think
okay.
I think the beginning and end of Destiny's problems, despite how good or bad of a franchise I'll say this ends up being, the beginning and end of its problems are that court case that brought all of it to light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
everything that was cut out. Yeah.
Because, WoW, I mean, Blizzard, even though Blizzard was bought by Activision, you don't get a lot of what Blizzard's doing early. Mm-hmm. Like they have enough cojones to tell their parent company Activision, no, we're going to reveal this when we're goddamn ready because we are fucking Blizzard.
Right.
And had Bungie done its due diligence, and I think it was because of a firing, that's why the court case came about, right?
Yeah, it was Marty McDonald who was the composer for Halo 1, 2, and 3, and then the first Destiny. Like, he got fired for it was a wrongful firing lawsuit, and he ended up winning.
And to be fair, like, that is the price for being shitty. Like, if it was a case where, you know, they needed to let somebody go because the wages were too much, that's a conversation you have. You settle it before you act. Mm-hmm. You say, listen, we have to let you go because we can't afford to pay you. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure, if I don't remember, like, because this was brought to light a long time ago. I don't know why. Was it McDonald or O'Donnell?
McDonald.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say the guy's name wrong. I don't know why McDonald was fired, but you have that's the price you pay for not thinking a couple of steps ahead, saying, hey, what repercussions can we get from doing this? Mm-hmm. And literally all they had to do was that one thing, and then the world does not figure out Destiny until it's released or until Bungie chooses to reveal it. Mm-hmm. Because Bungie didn't exactly have no cash in this industry. They had Halo. They're like, listen, we know what we're fucking doing. They had the balls to say they invented shooters on console, which wasn't fucking true.
I mean, to be fair, Doom was on Super Nintendo.
GoldenEye was on Nintendo 64. That's the console shooter. Doom on Super Nintendo, not good.
I'm just telling you, it's still a shooter on the console.
Congratulations, you can draw dots.
Yes, I can.
Had Bungie not balls that up, we would be speaking about Destiny in way different terms, because there would have been so much we didn't know going into the first one.
Right.
And it wouldn't have been, hey, we got all this a couple years ago, we just released this, and none of it's there. That's even with the fact that when we got Destiny, in 2014? Is that when we got it?
Yeah, 2014. Yeah. When
we got Destiny in 2014, like, we knew Destiny was a 10-year project.
Yeah.
And, you know, by the time Destiny's done, maybe all those people playing Destiny will just drop everything and play Final Fantasy VII Remake when it comes out. I don't know. But, like, the beginning and end of its problems starts there. It's because you give the public enough information to create expectation. It's literally what happened with No Man's Sky. Literally. Mm-hmm. Because we saw an ambitious minute-and-a-half trailer, and then all of a sudden everybody said, oh wow, it's like Star Wars and Star Trek got together, had kids, and let Battlestar Galactica raise those kids, and you could play those kids via Wing Commander. Like, everybody wanted everything out of No Man's Sky. And because you give people expectation and let them run with it for a couple of years, all of a sudden everything is way out of proportion, and you have to release patch after patch after patch to try and fix it. And by the time you think you've got what they wanted, they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Which is why No Man's Sky is still one of my favorite games of 2016, because I got exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. And like, I know it sounds like I'm being like negative about Destiny. I mean, there's a lot to be negative about. But
no, you're not being negative about Destiny. You're playing it, and you're going to continue to play it, despite what you said before it was released.
The thing I like about Destiny is the gameplay loop, which is everything that they addressed from the first game that people had issues with. They've kind of addressed and fixed and, you know, changed in this one, which is why I like playing Destiny, is the gameplay loop. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like really disappointed with the locations after I got to the raid was like my big thing. It was like I've been on all these planets before, like similar planets, but like, you know, Nessus is essentially Venus because it's the Vex planet. You know, I've been on, you know, Titan because it's the Hive planet. Like I've been at these places before, but when you get to the Cabal raid and you see this giant golden ship with all these purple banners waving, and you walk up these stairs and you enter this room and you see this throne where the Emperor is supposed to be sitting, and you see these like really cool looking gladiator cabals with these giant swords, and they're coming after you, and you know,
Cersei Lannister is pouring wine for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Sure.
I had to.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't understand that reference.
But you knew what I was talking about. Good for you, Corey.
I know. Pop culture, everybody. Hey, that was the third topic I had, by the way, written down.
What?
Things in pop culture that we just either don't like or haven't watched or done or played or whatever. So.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, don't get me started either.
Like it starts with Harry Potter and everyone gets angry at me.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, whatever.
And here's the thing. Fuck everyone that's gonna yell at me about Harry Potter. I tried to read those goddamn books. Those books suck. They're for kids. I'm sorry. And I'm not denigrating kids. Kids need literature and whatever. But like adults that are like completely hooked on reading all the Harry Potter books, fuck you, man. Like, I remember at some point.
Look at this guy.
I was reading Don Quixote, and I was carrying that. Like, why are you reading that? I'm like, this is actually a really fucking good story. It's just about a crazy main character that wants adventure in his life, and he convinces Sancho Panza of his vision of the world, which is full of adventure, and Sancho Panza is like, I like what you're selling. Let's do this. And it's literally like just a guy seeing things because he wants adventure in his life, and he's that far gone. And it's like 1,000 pages, and I think that is fucking brilliant. And that was written in like the 1500s. J.K. Rowling writes a prepubescent wizard, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to, you know, have my dick erect with glee because all of a sudden there's Hogwarts in my life? Fuck that. Hogwarts sounds like an STD for a pig. I don't even want to know.
Man, I'm going to miss you so much.
Well, let's just, you know, because I know you have to jet.
Not yet.
I'm not, but soon. Let's do a round table. Pop culture shit that everyone loves that you hate. Corey, start.
Oh my gosh. Hate or just haven't ever.
I just have no interest in. Because there's some stuff.
First hate. Let's hate.
I'm so tired of seeing everything Game of Thrones. I'm so tired of Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings. Just, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do Lord of the Rings.
But he's a Destiny fan.
I'm shooting guns. I'm shooting guns. I'm not waving a magical stick that summons dragons or whatever. I'm not.
That would actually be fucking awesome.
I'm not.
Yeah, but there's also a part of Destiny where you throw flaming hammers. I don't want to hear about it.
That's true.
Moose, your turn.
And the hunter has a stick that it waves around and summons stuff and hits people. I guess
stick that I wave and summon stuff.
People love.
I don't want to know what comes next. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moose, your turn.
I'm gonna go with.
We're gonna do 2 rounds, then we'll go to stuff that everyone likes.
Harry Potter.
Okay.
Go with Harry Potter because I can't read it, can't watch it. I could care less.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm gonna go with a sport here. Golf. Can't fucking stand golf.
Fuck golf. Fuck golf.
So just
I'm with you there. I come from a family of golfers and baseball players. I suck at both sports. I don't want to be good at both sports, and I was ridiculed by family for not trying to be good at both sports. Fuck golf, fuck baseball. I'm out.
Okay.
Now, I love baseball history. Golf history is not great. It's very racist. But baseball history, like I'm a really big fan of. I still think that baseball history is the closest thing this nation has to Greek mythology. And that's because that's the way that people look at Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Ty Cobb, Mickey Mantle. Don't even talk to a Yankee fan about Mickey Mantle. They're weird about it. But the one thing that I absolutely cannot stand, and this isn't a single thing, but it's one person, and that's Joss fucking Whedon. I've tried on everything that man has done. Like, eventually, I'm okay being the problem on this one. He can't write very well. He doesn't direct very well. And I feel like the reason he sticks in sci-fi is because all of the bullshit that comes along with it fits very well in sci-fi. I think Joss Whedon sucks. And if there are any of those people who want to call me not a proper nerd, guess what? I'm not a proper nerd. Fuck you, Joss Whedon sucks.
I don't really care for Joss Whedon either. Like I didn't get a hard on for the first Avengers like everybody else did. I was like, I feel like there's something missing here. Or like I enjoyed Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it wasn't like mind blowing.
No, Buffy wasn't good because the movie was great. And here's the thing. The movie was great because it approached itself like a B goddamn movie. Where it's like, hey, we're doing some bullshit and we're just going to lean into it for a little bit. We're not trying to be... we're not trying to reveal anything insightful about your life. It's just a bunch of teenagers that are young, dumb, full of cum, and vampires. That's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was literally like 3 notches away from a bad porn. That's what Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, was. And it had Luke Perry, so every 15-year-old girl at the time could learn what getting wet was like. And that was it. The show was complete self-righteous bullshit.
Yeah.
Moose, you're next. Or no, Corey, you just dovetailed on my Joss Whedon. What other bullshit you don't like?
What don't I like? Jeez. Gosh, I don't even know. I
got some stuff.
I don't know.
Moose and I are airing grievances tonight. I love it.
Like, I don't understand everybody's obsession with like Stranger Things on Netflix. I just
okay.
That movie.
Well, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm just not obsessed with it.
Someone who,
it's not that I hated it. It's that like I don't have any nostalgia factor for any of the movies that like this is inspired from. Like, okay.
Like 80s stuff.
It's pulling from shit that is outside your scope. Like the music is pulling from a time in music that you do not know about. And I've not had a conversation with you, but I know enough about you. Like, nah, he doesn't know about this. And then it's somewhere between E.T. and the Goonies and Stand By Me, and none of those.
Yeah, see, I've never seen any.
Like all of those are outside your age range. Like Moose and I are smack. We're smack right there. Like that was when we first became.
I'm in this weird spot where like, I was born in 1986, but I don't have any nostalgia for the 80s stuff because I was too young.
Jesus Christ.
And I was too old to be nostalgic.
Kids, right? This is our boss, Moose.
I was too old to be nostalgic for like 90s stuff. So like,
I don't know. You like Pokemon, right?
No, I don't.
Then we're fine.
I haven't played since Red and Blue. Like I like Red and Blue a lot, but I have not played a Pokemon game since Red and Blue.
He's my brother's age. Jesus.
Like the only thing I really have nostalgia for is like X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some bands.
I have nostalgia for all that, and I want it to be good again. It's just not.
I know. Okay, so I actually made a list of movies that I have never seen, And I know everybody at work.
We don't have enough time, dear.
No, I know we don't. But I'm going to give you this list, okay? E.T. Never seen E.T. The Breakfast Club.
E.T.'s unfortunate. Breakfast Club, whatever. Like, it's a good movie, but whatever.
Back to the Future.
Oh, damn. That's
Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The Goonies.
Sad. That's sad.
But see, here's the thing. I think if you watch the Goonies today, you'll see all the bullshit with it. Yeah. And like, I'm nostalgic for that time because that was
that's like the 80s. So
yeah, like that was the decade that Moose and I spent a lot of time in. Not the most time in, but like a lot of time in.
The other thing that I really love too from like my childhood's Indiana Jones, which that has been well documented on this show.
Yeah, we don't need to go there.
Stand By Me. Never seen.
You should see Stand By Me.
Yeah, you should see that. That's a good one.
I think of all the things you've mentioned thus far, like E.T. and Stand By Me, are just movies you need to see.
And Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is a great comedy.
Ghostbusters is definitely one of the best comedies of all time.
Yeah. So you need to put those on
E.T. and Stand By Me are like necessities at this point. I would say Back to the Future, but like you could go either way on that.
Yeah.
I stay away from. Personally, I don't like the last two. Well, 2 and 3. I just like the first one. So
the first one's a perfectly written movie. The second two are they're good sequels. They really are.
Yeah.
But like the first one's perfect.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, how could you top that?
Yeah.
They were almost like destined to fail because of the success of the first one.
Yeah, and they were both successful, but like everyone said, well, I still like the first one, and that's just because, because the first one's a good movie.
Shit, man, and Goonies, we had that on. We had Back to the Future and Goonies on tape before they like sold it and stuff, and because we had a family member who recorded it off of HBO for us, and we used to watch the hell out of those movies. We watched that so much.
I recently watched the Goonies in the last couple of weeks, and it holds up. But here's the thing: if you're gonna go into any movie that I'll just nerds have a specific amount of nostalgia for, forget everything that anybody is going to tell you. Forget what Moose and I are telling you about these movies, except the titles, and just go and watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. I think Moose and I will probably give you some shit, but we really can't hold much against you.
Yeah, I've got a few more that
keep coming.
Go with your list.
Alien.
You have to see Alien. I didn't see Alien for the first time till.
You're not alone on that, Corey.
You're not. But I didn't see Alien for the first time till 2007. It holds up really well. It's a great goddamn movie. Aliens, it depends on how much you like Alien.
Yeah. Top Gun, never seen Top Gun.
Fuck that movie.
Gremlins, I've never seen.
Gremlins is fun.
Gremlins is a good time.
But it's fun.
Don't expect a masterpiece, but it's a good time.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you it's not a movie you have to go out and seek, but if it's there, watch it because you'll enjoy it. Like you said,
if you see it on,
just try and watch it from the start and just enjoy it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Both Gremlins movies, I like.
Yeah, they're good. They're fun. They're just it's nothing like earth shattering that you have to see.
Where was it? Oh, Beetlejuice, I've never seen. Blade Runner, I've never seen.
Okay, Blade Runner's a good goddamn movie.
Yeah,
I've never seen the first Terminator. I've only seen the second one.
The second one is actually better than the first.
Yes,
it really is.
But I haven't seen the first one.
See the first one if you want, but you don't have to put any stock in it.
Yeah.
So those are just kind of the
any cut of Blade Runner you can find, you should try and watch because that's
the new one looks cool.
That's a beautiful fucking story. It really is.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
and it looks like the sequel is going to be awesome.
But
is it Ryan Gosling playing?
Yeah. Yeah, him and Harrison Ford are both.
And Harrison Ford plays his original character.
And I actually buy it, which is why I'll see it.
Yeah. I like Ryan Gosling. He's cool.
Yeah, better
I like him in
actor.
Triumph.
He's a
He was
better
awesome in
actor than
Triumph.
fucking nerds will give him credit for. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So now what? Just don't.
Any more you haven't seen? I wish you had more of this.
I mean, I could compile a list and we can revisit this in like November, December.
When I come back,
What we need to do is we need to start an NGR like Google sheet, and then you could like column A would be movies Corey has not seen, and
okay. First off, Moose, you said we have to create a document, and then you started adding columns and
I meant
organization to this.
Sheet. Create a Google sheet. So you have
spreadsheet.
So you have column A where movies you haven't seen. Column B is Matt's yes or no, you need to watch it, and then column C is Moose's yes or no, you have to watch it. And then you know if it gets
now here's the thing. Here's the thing, Corey. I want you to understand what's happening. Moose and I have seemed to be on agreement on almost all of these, right?
Pretty much.
Now we're also in agreement in the fact that like most people will tell you, "Oh, you haven't seen that? You have to see it because it's amazing." And Moose and I aren't going to do that bullshit to you because we also understand the passage of time and how time sort of ruins everything, and nostalgia is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So and like there are some of those movies you mentioned that like I still hold in high esteem, but I'm not going to sit here and go, every person I know needs to have seen this, otherwise I can't talk to them. Because at some point that becomes asinine. Yeah. Like there are certain, I think Moose and I basically pulled out the essentials for you.
Yeah.
So when you listen to this show, when you edit it, take notes. In fact, if Moose and I disagreed on them, or if only one of us said you should see it, forget that one. Go with the ones we both said yes to first. Mm-hmm. And then, make it a movie night for you and Sana. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, you guys would have a lot of fun.
Because I will say this, Moose and I did not agree on any categorically bad movies.
Yeah, no.
And that is someone who was once a movie critic and almost curated a film festival. Just saying.
Just throwing it out there.
Throw it out there. No big deal.
I kind of know what I'm talking about. Just saying. But like, if you decide you want to get into the foreign cinema, you and I can have a conversation. That's kind of my jam. But so Moose, one more thing you hate.
Pokemon. Fucking despise it. I won't even touch it.
I kind of hate everything after Gen 1.
I can't.
They're running out of ideas. I want to make a chandelier in a garbage pile as a Pokemon.
I'm excited for people who like it, but I'm just like, no, don't talk to me about it. Pokemon Go. I'm like, I don't even want to get into this. I don't even want to try it. My wife tried it for a while, and I'm like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. So.
Funny story. The first date I had with a girl once involved Pokemon hunting. That was cool. But at the same time, I have a respect for Pokemon despite absolutely wanting nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I think the characters are designed really well, but in my opinion, the best Pokemon is the Smosh videos that do the honest trailers for Pokemon Red and Blue and the sequel to that. And when they name the Pokemon, because they name the Pokemon rather hilariously. There's a Pokemon called "Hi, I'm a registered sex offender," or there is one spoon, or no, there is no spoon. There is one spoon. There are two spoons.
Yeah, there is no spoon.
There's one called "Date Rapist," which is great, but that's as close as I'll get to Pokemon. I will say this: I played the hell out of Pokken Tournament on my Wii U. That was a good time.
It's going to be out on Switch by the time this episode posts.
Yeah, probably. But
no, it is. It comes out Friday.
Oh, great. Happy for all you Switch fans, which I do not have one. I should probably sell my Switch or my Wii U in this time that I'm off. Anybody want to buy a Wii U? No. Anybody want to buy a Wii U? No. Listeners, hey.
Contact him at @infinite_rewind on Instagram or Facebook him on his weird name.
Yeah, just find me here. It's fine.
Facebook.com/group/NGR Radio podcast.
Yeah.
I think.
But another thing I absolutely can't stand, fucking Final Fantasy.
I'm kind of with you there, dude.
I think that
the only one that gets a pass for me is 9.
Respect to Daniel Freitas, who has been on the show. Respect to Mark Allen and Clayton Pace, who play all of them to a weird degree. I will say this. I don't think those stories are good. And I don't think their save the world scenarios carry any weight or gravitas with them. The characters are basic and benign, and you could interchange any character in Final Fantasy with another character in Final Fantasy. Fuck Final Fantasy. And Corey has left us briefly. So,
you didn't say anything.
I say, well, but he's probably like going to the bathroom or something. He's probably he's probably explaining to someone like, "Hey, I'll be off in a couple of minutes because Matt and Moose, they just keep talking." Quick fire, Moose, just till he gets back. Next thing you hate,
Beatles.
Okay, I can see your side, and the only reason I will defend the other side is not because of their actual songs or the quote unquote music. For me, Rush. I fucking hate Rush. And
I've tried to get into Rush countless times and I just can't. And then also, so if I'll just go through some musicians I don't like. Beatles is a deep personal hate. For reasons.
Well, can I ask you a question? Is it because everybody just defaults to, they're the best band of all time?
Sort of, yes. Okay. So then Bruce Springsteen, I don't like Bruce Springsteen. You would think I would like him because I like.
You grew up in Pennsylvania,
and that too. But I can't stand his music. And then Bob Dylan, as a musician, now as a songwriter, he's good. I like the stuff that he's written. That's fair. The best song he's ever written was the best Jimi Hendrix cover, So All Along the Watchtower is awesome.
You ever heard Positively 4th Street?
I'll check it out. But anyways, so I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan. Okay. So I just hate it. So anyways, those are the ones where people start talking about music. Me and Jesse White always go back and forth. He's like, but the boss, man, he's so good. Or Rob will chime in, and then it's like, Bob Dylan's good, and I'm like, no, he's not. This was 2000, 2002. It was right before Black Crowes released their album Lions, and we were in Charlotte, and they used to call it Center City Fest, and it was a festival where you pay and you go and you see bands all throughout the day. And
sorry to interrupt. I just want to say we're talking about music and Corey's yawning.
I know.
So sorry.
So Bob Dylan.
Man. I just.
You just you just see your eyes just.
Dude, I mean, God, continue.
But Bob Dylan was on before the Black Crowes, and I'm like, just shut up, just shut up. Could you just die already? Just die already, because you couldn't even make out what he's saying.
No, he's
so old. He just needs to stop singing because I can't understand what you're saying. If I knew what you were saying, I might enjoy your concert more. But it was oh God, I wanted to just put my head through a brick wall.
I will say this about Bob Dylan still releasing albums. That Shadows of Night that he released was not a good covers album, but he benefits from the fact that you don't have to do it in one shot. Mm-hmm. I do not think, I think in the 60s and 70s, he had a voice that was listenable at the very least, and it delivered a certain amount. There was a certain message in his voice beyond his words at that point in time. I don't think any of his albums in the 80s or even 90s or 2000s or even this decade compare, because the man has done the opposite of what you need to do to make sure your voice stays intact. And I think it's because he's really leaned into what Bowie called a voice like sand and glue. He is categorically the greatest songwriter of all time.
Now, see, I'll give him that. I will give him that.
And yeah, you are correct there. But like, that doesn't mean someone listening to Like a Rolling Stone is going to go, oh, what a great voice this guy has, considering it cracks like 18 times throughout that 6-minute song. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it's one, and I feel like there's a comparison to like jazz musicians where you have to cut through a certain amount of thing to figure out the vibe of it.
Yeah, see, and he was such a good songwriter that it carried his vocals.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Like you were saying, like, you know, like a Rolling Stone, like people love that song, and if you ask them, not for the singing, but for what the song meant to that person, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, it's fuck Bob Dylan.
NSYNC.
You hate NSYNC?
No, I'm just.
I was gonna say they're
no. I hate NSYNC, but JT's solo career, good time. I will say that.
Yeah, he's done.
I was naming bands I know.
Oh,
sort of.
Limp Bizkit.
Fuck yes, Moose. Thank you so much for that.
I hate you both.
I
know. I think getting back to like things that, you know, I personally don't really care for. Not that I hate, but don't care for.
Well, okay, now this is sort of the round where we do what we don't like or what we have no interest in, but everyone seems to like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corey.
Star Wars, man.
Really?
Star Wars. I like.
Okay.
He plays Destiny, so okay.
I can't.
I mean, you know, you're right, Moose.
I just like I can't get into Star Wars, man. I try. Like every time a new movie comes out, like I'll go see it, or like wait till it comes to Netflix or whatever. But like,
it just never pulls you in.
I can't, dude. Like I love Empire Strikes Back. Like love is a strong word. That's my favorite Star Wars movie, and
You're incorrect, but that's fine.
I really like The Force Awakens.
How is he incorrect that that's his favorite movie, his favorite Star Wars movie?
Because I'm being a nerd right now, Moose. Just don't worry about it.
Isn't that the one that most nerds consider the best one?
No, because most nerds do. You're right, and most of those nerds are fucking wrong.
Damn,
the first one is the best one.
Like
categorically, end of report. I don't care who wants to come on this show when I get back and debate me.
Like
I will show my work.
Because I'm not going to sit here and watch
that. I don't blame you.
Like last night I was playing Destiny and I had the other TV on in the background. Like, and I was like, oh, I want to see those cool scenes of Darth Vader in Rogue One because those scenes were pretty cool. But like,
yeah, they were.
That movie is not very good. Like Rogue One is not very good except for those Darth Vader scenes. Like I was watching and the animation of Tarkin is like this doesn't even look real.
Does not make a bad movie.
No.
I'm
telling you the things that bothered me about this movie.
Okay.
Let the man speak.
I felt like Mads Mikkelsen's character, like his relationship with what's her face is like really forced and there's no chemistry whatsoever.
Which one is Mads Mikkelsen?
He's the
guy that designed the
he's the guy that designed the Death Star.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then who is he in a relationship with?
No, it's his daughter. Like their chemistry, it's super forced and unrealistic and unbelievable. Like,
who's his daughter in the movie?
Felicity Jones, the British girl,
the main
girl,
character, the main
girl.
rebel, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that like as I was, and now that you're bringing it to like my recollection, I have thoughts about that, but at the same time, there's not that my thoughts aren't going to convince you that it was good.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I just, I don't know, man. Like Disney's trying to turn everything into this big, wider universe instead of just like sucking it in and just being like, okay, we're just gonna make a good movie. Like the Marvel stuff boggles my mind too. Like there's good movies, but like I can't stand that I have to watch all these movies to understand what's going on, and like
Avengers Infinity Gauntlet or whatever.
I have to freaking watch Ant-Man to know what's going on in Captain America Civil War. Like, don't get me wrong, I like both of those movies, but like I have to sit here and watch Doctor Strange to know this little small part in Guardians of the Galaxy, or like why? Like I can't do it. And now they're doing like 47 TV shows that supposedly tie into this now too, and it's just like
it's getting a little ridiculous. Speaking of, Punisher's coming out soon. That's gonna be good.
I think Punisher's gonna be cool, but like that's the thing too. Like I really liked the first season of Daredevil, and the second season was okay, but like I didn't think Jessica Jones like blew anything out of the water, or like Luke Cage. Is okay, but like
she's still melodramatic or melancholy. Jessica Jones. I liked the show, but it was just so like depressing.
Yeah, and like Iron, like I tried to watch Iron Fist, and it was just terrible. But like I want to watch The Defenders, but apparently I have to watch like the last 5 episodes of Iron Fist to understand the beginning of The Defenders, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. That show sucks.
I don't think you do. No, don't. Just watch The Defenders. Me and the wife just watched The Defenders, and I was perfectly fine. And because I'll tell you right now, if you watch some of the Iron Fist and then go in Defenders, you're gonna like. I wanted to like wring that character's neck. Like it's just every freaking 10 seconds he's like, I didn't even want to Iron Fist, and it's like, shut up. Like this is why you're getting your ass kicked, you're getting attacked, you're getting kidnapped, and all this shit's happening because you can't shut your fucking mouth. You know?
I'm going to say this: the best comic shit in the history of comic shit, not comic as in like stand-up comic, I'm talking about comic as in like comic strip, is the stuff that doesn't get lost under its own bullshit. Example.
Dilbert.
Oh, God damn it, Derek. What the fuck are you doing?
He's having fun with
you. To shut your bullshit down, it's Calvin and Hobbes, all right? End of story. End of story. I will show my work if I need to. Secondly,
please show me a truck with a Calvin and Hobbes sticker of him peeing on something.
Google will show you that. Why do I need to? You live in Ohio. That's the Midwest. It's the mecca for that bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Calvin and Hobbes.
There's probably 3 in the parking lot outside of our apartment building right now.
Calvin and Hobbes is the best written comic strip of all time. And I don't care any of you Spider-Man fans want to come at me, any of you Superman, any Batman fans, fuck you all. Calvin and Hobbes says more about life in general, and it reflects more of the human experience through the eyes of a kid who has an imaginary friend than anything your dumb Metropolis Gotham City crap could ever do. Not because you painted big cinematic experiences, but because he said, you know, Dad, you doing this is kind of dumb. He's like, I know, son, but I have to do it anyway because And then he literally, breaks the fourth wall like Deadpool, which is also fucking dumb, and says, adults suck. That is more important to the life experience of every human on this planet than anything Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, whatever could do. And the only thing that really comes close, in my opinion, okay, Corey, is the Black Freighter in Watchmen. The Black Freighter in Watchmen is a beautifully violent Sam Peckinpah movie that was never made. The rest of it is kind of overwrought garbage. However, it's well written overwrought garbage because Alan Moore actually can write. Corey.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
Well, we went through hate and then dislike. Where do we go from there? We went through hate and disinterest.
I don't. What? I don't know. What do you think?
What do you feel? Okay. I think the final topic should be like, what would you be interested in learning about?
Ooh.
Like something that we haven't experienced and want to learn more about.
Yeah, like
in pop culture
and nerd culture, because those secret friends people, they're gonna have some shit to say.
Yeah, that Todd Oxford guy.
He's grumpy, and I don't know what Lisa's thinking. Charlie will be like, yeah, that's all right, because he doesn't.
He's probably on volume 537 of Spider-Man by now.
Yeah. And all three of them probably hate everything I just said.
I know. They probably hate it. They're like, unsubscribe, not listening.
Guess who doesn't care?
Man. Something. I mean, I guess I would like to learn more about I always liked the X-Men, but I don't know a whole lot about them. But I think that it's kind of this cool story on discrimination and stuff. I would like to dive deep more into that, because I think the story they're trying to tell in a walk around way is kind of important to the way we should live. And you see the different viewpoints of each character and how they view the world differently. And I think that's cool. And I like the X-Men, but I don't know enough about them to have a conversation on Secret Friends Unite, but
yeah,
I think that's something I think I would like to learn more about.
Moose.
I'd like to learn more about coding to develop video games.
Yeah.
Video game coding. That's what I'd like to do.
That's kind of a shock.
I would like to do that too, but you said it, so
I feel like that's a weird.
That's
shock.
a shocker for everybody, right?
Honestly, that was there were 18 things I could have expected out of your mouth. That was not one of them, because I figured the beer nerd in you would want to just make beer.
Well, I do. And
I don't really think that you choosing your answer versus that, I don't think that doesn't exist now.
No, that does exist. I got to get containers to put it in. So hopefully.
Yeah.
You got a bathtub, don't you?
Yeah.
That's for moonshine, Corey.
Anyways.
Yeah. Same thing.
No, it's really not.
No.
I think the one thing I would want to learn about more is, believe it or not, anime.
That's a good one too.
And I had this conversation. There was a lost episode of Platinum Achievements where I basically had this conversation with Paul Linga and Chris Haar, and both of them know anime to a crazy degree, and it was completely educational. For me, as someone who I had seen Ranma Half, Dragon Ball Z, a few Japanimation movies stuff by Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata, as well as Japanese animated cartoons from the 80s like David the Gnome, the little bits that were broadcast on Nickelodeon when I was a kid. But like every time I see an anime that is like interesting, and I try and only stick to films. I get like every new thing that I've not heard anything about. It gets weird. It gets too weird too fast.
Yeah.
And by too weird it's like the tentacle porn just shows up, and I'm like, I'm not interested in this. I'm out. But like because of my interest in that art style, because I really like it. I saw Akira in the 90s. You know, I saw a lot of Hayao Miyazaki films as Japanese dubbed things before they came to theaters as English dubbed things. And the loss of quality in both is fucking negligible, and it's brilliant. I mean, that's probably why I still like JRPGs to a degree. Like I still really like the Tales series. But I would love to actually find an anime series that really hooks me with good writing in a way that it makes me want to see it through, and most just don't.
Yeah.
Corey, I know you have to jet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say goodbye to you. Moose is going to say goodbye to you, and Moose and I are going to continue to talk if Moose wants to.
That's cool.
We can go till 9, bro.
Cool.
That's fine.
So we're going for another 15.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then call it quits.
Corey, I'm just going to ask you on air. It's Corey in HD and Rogue Spartan 4 on PSN.
Yeah. Yep.
What Rogue Spartan 4 on Xbox still, or Corey in HD on Xbox?
No, it's still Rogue Spartan 4 on Xbox.
Okay. I'll plug you at the end.
All right. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys later. Matt, enjoy your hiatus. I hope you come back sooner than later, but
me too.
You know, Love
you, man.
Love you too. Bye, guys.
Keep me posted on November, man. Keep me posted.
I will. Yeah, definitely. I will.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Have a good evening with the Bam.
Okay, now the boss is gone, we're gonna have some fun, Moose.
I agree with your anime pick, because as something that I've always wanted to get into but just can't. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I do that I can say that with. Like, okay, you hate Rush. I've never really not liked them, but it's like that's a band I should always listen to, and I just never listen to them. You know, because I like some of their stuff that's on the radio.
You know, like Rush is one of those bands that categorically I should like but don't. However, the exception to that is their album 2112. Their album 2112 is goddamn amazing. And I wish the rest of their catalog held up. For some reason, to me, I don't like it. Starts and I'm just nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like anime. It's like, man, like everybody gets into and talks about it, and I'm just like, I'm like, eh. Because I think like the entry now, like trying to get into it, is like trying to jump into. So I can equate it to like World of Warcraft.
Well, it's like jumping into like classical or jazz music where there's just so much there.
Right. They drop
you don't know where to start.
The thing though, see, like World of Warcraft was smart, and they built it in when you do the expansion, they increased like the leveling. I think it was like the second or third expansion they decided to like double or triple your experience if you were starting at level 1. So as you level, like you were level 40 if you played for like 2 hours or something like that. So, but it would be like, I feel like jumping into anime would be like trying to play WoW, starting out at level 1 and trying to get to level 100, but not have like an experience boost. Like just sitting there and grind. I remember grinding like crazy to get to level 60 before the first expansion came out, the Burning Crusade, and that was insanity. But I'm just like, that's how I feel. It feels overwhelming, extremely overwhelming to try and get into anime, And then like you see, Crunchyroll's got some cool stuff, and then I'll go and I'll look at because I just watched Ghost in the Shell, the live action one, because it was like 99 cents to rent, and I've seen the anime. Much like you, I stick to films. So like I'll stick to anime films. Like I don't try and go for series because you have to like follow so much of it to know what's going on. Like with like a film, you're good to go. Although Ghost in the Shell does have a couple series. Like I think they have Standalone Complex and stuff like that. They've had some stuff since the original film, but it started, like I guess as a film or a manga or whatever, and then became a film, an anime film. But
see, and it gets even weirder from there, and I'm not trying to interrupt you to be a dick, but like when I had my conversation with Paul and Chris, they said, even the mangas of these things were structured in a certain way where it would be like early in the series, it would be like, event with some like minor fillers in between. And these fillers would be like, that those episodes of Dragon Ball Z where you watch Goku and whoever he's fighting charge up for like a half hour and just have dialogue.
Yeah.
And
it would for like 6 episodes. And then
but like, and then later on, it was like the amount of fillers that were between events just increased. And I'm like, see, here's the thing. As someone who wants to get into that, I don't want to suffer that bullshit. And, and to a point, like Chris would be like, oh, well, you could find guides online that would tell you which were the fillers and which were the events, but you might miss a bit of thing in that event because dialogue that happens in the fillers.
Yeah.
And eventually you're watching animated Young and the Restless.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's really what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my sole reason for saying films. Now, I could recommend quote unquote anime films that are actually just ingeniously done, but I won't sit here and pontificate like that. But like that's something that happens, and it's something that I feel is egregious. I recognize that it's sort of built into the art form, but at the same time, it's like maybe the companies involved should give their creators just a wee bit more time.
Yeah, like people were going crazy over the Dragon Ball Z Fighter game that's coming out. Like when they first announced that was I think at E3.
Yeah, well, that actually looks cool because it's done by Arc System Works and it's going to be a cool.
Right.
They're good at mechanics.
Looks cool, and I'm just like, man, another fighting game. Like I don't have that history because I never watched the anime, never cared to watch it. And then same with Gundam. Gundam's got that Gundam Verse, which is almost the same type of thing. It's like an arena fighter type thing, which the beta's out, and I have it on my PS4. I just haven't played it.
Right.
But it's just, like shows like that. Like I remember watching, what was it, Robotech? Like I remember
Robotech was so good.
I remember watching that when I was younger, and I mean, and Corey mentioned X-Men. I watched X-Men in the 90s. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I mean, granted, those aren't anime, they're cartoons, but, like Robotech was pretty much an anime.
Yeah, Robotech was an anime.
But, I don't know what happened that just made me miss that. Or, like, when, like, I haven't nailed it down. Like, when looking at that, either, when talking with friends or when at a store, like looking at a series, what made me just say, meh. You know what I mean? Like like and maybe it was just a part of it that was like it's too much of an investment. You know what I mean? Because like you go to the bookstore to look at manga, and there's like 70 freaking volumes. Like I was trying to collect the Lone Wolf and Cub series by Dark Horse, which now I think I'm up to the number where I have to like get it off eBay now. Like nobody carries them anymore because they're out of print. But they'll probably come back around again because if they were smart, they would actually make a freaking Netflix series, or they do an HBO series.
The best adaptation of Lone Wolf and Cub, and this is just because I've seen all of the movies as well as I haven't read all of the manga. I'm not going to pretend here. But I still think the best adaptation of that is the film that is completely abridged of like a bunch of different volumes of films called Shogun Assassin. They reference it in the movie Kill Bill. I think in volume 2 specifically. That is the perfect distillation of that franchise, mainly because it captures all, and this is going to sound stupid, but it captures all of the violence as well as all of the story in one 2-hour chunk.
Yeah.
And all of that and all of the beats, to my knowledge, are hit. Now, are they hit with the perfect execution? No. Are they hit with the best acting? No. But it's one of those things that the sum of its parts are all there, all to see. And and I feel like that is, if you wanted more of that, you start there and then go, oh, I'm going to watch Lone Wolf and Cubs to see what I missed.
Yeah.
And for the first 4 or 5 Lone Wolf and Cubs, you don't miss much. But then there's just a lot more after that.
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, okay, and all this is still sort of in and out and whatnot.
I have like a hankering to like go back to that now that I'm playing Neo. Like I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, because I was talking to Philip. Well, it was in our conversation.
Yeah.
I was talking to Phillips about it because we were talking about people just sitting and playing Destiny for like 8 hours or 4 hours or whatever. And I sat and he's like, man, I just can't do that anymore. And I'm like, man, now I feel bad for sitting here playing Neo for like, I think it was like Sunday. I've been playing Neo for like 4 hours and I'm just, and you know, he's like, oh, I'm all for people like doing what they want to do. And I'm like, yeah, but like sometimes I feel like I should be watching a movie or I should watch a show or like read a book. And so I'm kind of like, I think I'm almost to the point where I want to take a break from video games for a while. Just put them down for a while and step away and pick up a book or something. Because I was looking at Netflix last night before I went to bed, and there's still some movies on there that are relatively new that I wanted to see, and I just haven't had a chance to watch.
Yeah.
So it's like I need to just when I sit down, just start a movie and just sit there and watch it.
Do you and the wife do Hulu at all or no?
We have it, yeah. But half the time she's already watched most of the series or any movie that's like come on.
Just as something to recommend. Have you ever watched Rick and Morty?
No. I've seen like
you totally
I've seen
should.
like clips. Yeah, I probably will. I mean, I know
like there is like a mix of Futurama and South Park there that is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
And I've watched the first 2 seasons are on Hulu, and I've watched it like three times through. They only have 3. Like the 3rd season, you could probably stream on the internet.
Well, my thing with Hulu is like you pay for it. My problem with Hulu is I was watching The Flash. So like when I watched series, I used to watch it on Hulu. I got to watch Flash, and I watched another show. I can't remember the name of it now. But the problem with Hulu is after like 5 episodes, like say they're up to the 6th episode, episode 1 drops off. So you can't even watch episode 1. So now you only have 2 through 6, and then it's 3 through 7, and then 4 through 8. And like you only get like a certain amount. Like they don't keep the entire season that is currently airing on Hulu unless they fixed that recently.
Well, that is for series ongoing, and that's just for the current series.
But see, I know that's what I'm saying. That's what bothers me about
like Rick and Morty. Seasons. Both seasons are on there.
Right. No, I know because they're done. And I'm like, that's cool. They're done. They're on there. But what I'm saying is, like, that's why I kind of went away from Hulu. It's just because I was watching more stuff ongoing than I was, like, past stuff.
Then interactive.
Yeah. So that it was just like, this is freaking pointless. I missed one, like, if I missed 2-3 weeks just because, work was hectic or something, like, I can't, then I'm out of it. Well, now I got to wait for it to go to Netflix, and I can't watch the next season when it comes on, because they just released it on Netflix right before the new season starts or after the new season starts. Sometimes, like, you know what I mean? Like they do that with like Archer, or they do it with.
I have a feeling that you might be a tad incorrect. I don't know for sure. I don't know. Usually, but I feel like right before new seasons come out, they have the entire previous season
on Netflix,
on Hulu.
No, I don't think so. Not that I remember.
Again, I'm not watching current TV in any capacity except for Game of Thrones. I try and keep up with Last Week Tonight because John Oliver's fucking hilarious. But
I want to finish Westworld. Like, I need to finish that.
Yeah,
Kelly and I just watched.
I need to watch Ballers because that series looks great.
Yeah, I want to watch that because I like The Rock. I enjoy The Rock. And the bald guy that's in it, that was in Hot Tub Time Machine, he's funny. I like him.
Rob Corddry, he's great.
Yes, I like him.
I also need to watch The Defiant Ones.
And then there's that new show with Franco, The Deuces.
Yeah,
something like that.
Deuce. That's on HBO. I don't know what that is.
I think it's like
I know James Franco's in it, so I'm kind of interested, but like other than that.
And then there's something else. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm's coming back soon. So I've never watched that, and people are like, "You're a huge Seinfeld fan, and you've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm?" I'm like, "Well, I've never owned HBO. I just know it's like an R-rated version."
To be to be fair, Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld only really share Larry David in common.
Right. No. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, people have said it's like the R-rated version of Seinfeld, like, you know, but minus the cat. You know what I mean? Because Larry David. So I'm like, I need to sit down and watch that. So maybe I'll just do like this weekend. Well, I can't do it this weekend coming up because I got some shit going on. But maybe Sunday I'll just do like a marathon and start watching.
Well,
something.
You remember how the first couple seasons or the first season of Seinfeld is real.
Yeah,
the first season of Seinfeld is real shit.
It's like they brought it back, and you're just like, and then like season 3.
Honestly, like looking at it now, like how that first season of Seinfeld aired and it got a second season is beyond me.
Yeah.
But like from the second season, it got good, and then it got progressively better.
Yeah, I agree.
And I still, at the time, people thought the Seinfeld finale was like the worst finale of all time, but I feel like it fits the series perfectly.
I think it does too. I think it was shocking. Like, you were expecting something more, but they underplayed
like everybody wanted
much.
Jerry and Elaine to get married.
Yeah, or some shit like that. But they underplayed their characters in such a way that it was so Seinfeld.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and that is sort of the brilliance of it.
Yeah, and I think he's got a special coming on Netflix soon, so I want to watch that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I catch comedians in cars getting coffee every once in a while. I haven't
seen it ever, but I'd like to watch it.
Like there's one where he had Barack Obama on it while he was still president, and they're just trying to get out of the White House. And there's one point where Barack Obama is driving this car that Seinfeld brought along, and Seinfeld is in the passenger side. He's like, "Hey, tell him you're the president." See what he says. And like, he's like, "But I'm the president." He's like, "Sorry, Mr. President, we can't let you out here in this car."
Yeah.
And like, there's a certain sort of brilliance to that. And like setting up, the fact that this is the president and he can't get out of his own house.
He can't get out of his own freaking house. Granted, it's the White House. It's not like, but still, he can't get out of his own house. Yeah.
And, and there are other ones that he had, like the one he had with Chris Rock was actually pretty interesting because they actually sort of dissect comedy to a degree. I don't remember if he had Carlin on before he died.
Mm-hmm.
But he's actually had, I've seen 4 or 5 episodes that were like really good conversations and really just insightful rather than making me gut laugh.
Yeah.
And
more of a backstory type filler thing.
Well, it wasn't even that, because it wasn't even like he was going back into, because it wasn't even just a bunch of old comics being nostalgic about when they were working the clubs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Rather, they were sort of like when you listen to the Idle Thumbs podcast, 3 Moves Ahead, and how they just try and dissect strategy games.
Yeah.
They try and break it down to like the abstract parts. I think that finding the abstract parts in comedy is really interesting. And that's just because I'm interested in the process of writing. I don't think I'll ever be a comic or a comedy writer, but getting that information is actually, it's informative to someone who just wants to write reviews about beer or music, or wants to write his experiences in a video game. And I think that can inform people in a cool way. And it's a nice way to spend your time rather than watching old reruns of Married with Children, because that show really wasn't. That show had some funny moments, but it wasn't that good.
Don't let Alan hear you say that. Alan Heinen, I know he loves.
Oh, Alan Heinen. Oh,
yeah, Heinen. I know he loves Married with Children.
I think that, you know, Ed O'Neill was sort of the Don Rickles of TV comedy, but then, you know, you watch a Don Rickles stand up and you realize Ed O'Neill ain't got shit. Bless you, Moose. But you wanted to go till 9. It is actually 9:05. You're muted again, just so you know. Yeah, that's curse at me all you want, man. Curse at me all you want.
Dude, I hit the unmute button like 7 times and it wouldn't unmute. So it's like, apparently my computer wants me to like call it quits.
But so I'm gonna wrap up. This has been episode 61 of Nerds Gone Rogue Radio. The Maris number, as I'm going to lovingly call it. I don't know what Corey's going to call it, but it's the Maris number. We're just going to call it that because it has more importance in American history that way than whatever Corey's going to call it. Yeah, boss, I'm fucking with you when you're not even here. Corey can be found at Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram, and Rogue Spartan 4 on PSN and Xbox. If that's not what he can be found on in Wii U, I can't help you. He didn't give me his friend code because I don't fucking want it.
Switch. Yeah,
and
he doesn't care about Switch.
You know, well, actually, kind of Switch has some good games, but you could find him at either of those HD console names. That will help you. Or you know what? Join the NGR community on Facebook, and all of our IDs are there.
Mm-hmm.
Moose, where do we find you?
You can find me at Sven, SVHENN, on PSN, not Xbox, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, you can email us questions, comments, or concerns for Nerds Gone Platinum at NG_Platinum on Twitter, or email us at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. So you can ask us some crazy questions about that PlayStation platform.
Mm-hmm. That's where and he also hosts the Nerds Gone Platinum podcast.
I don't know. I think I'm just...
Jason. Well, Jason,
I don't host. He runs.
I will be honest with you. Jason throws you a shit ton of shade.
Oh no, I know.
And sometimes it's brilliant. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, you're just piling on. But,
no, I know. It's funny. It's all in good taste. But like because I was doing my new job, he kind of settled into taking over the hosting just because I was just like, I would just get home and be so physically exhausted.
Oh yeah.
Like I would just get on the show and be like, all right, I'm just going to do the deals, you know? And so now it's kind of like, I'd say it's kind of like 70-30, and I'm trying to get it back.
Moose? You fighting back?
Trying to get it back to 50-50. I don't need to, I don't like more like a co-host thing. And like, we're trying to streamline things and make things a little like smoother during the show and transition better. So we're still working on it. We're only in episode 12, I think is this week.
The way I see it, look, this podcast here has been going for 2 hours. Just let it go, man. Just let it flow.
Let it go. Let it be. Just let it be.
Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. That's a Beatles song.
I know it is. Just let it happen. Just let this happen.
just let it happen. Everything will be. That sounds real rapey. I'm not going to do that anymore. But you can find me on PSN at infinite_rewind. I am on Twitter at infinite_rewind as well. I am also on Instagram at infinite_rewind. I don't play my Wii U anymore because I beat Breath of the Wild and I was kind of just done. I need to sell that POS. And this has been episode 61 of Nerds Gone Platinum. I will be back soon, I promise, because I love this chucklehead that's still here. I love the chucklehead that left. And I don't hate this chucklehead that's still here for not inviting me back on Nerds Gone Platinum. Just saying.
Hey. Well, you're always busy all the time.
That's true. That's true. Ain't nobody arguing here.
So this last week, we're supposed to have Tim and Derek from Fathers of the Grind on, and Derek still hasn't, situated himself from the hurricane.
Derek's an Xbox fan. He didn't give a PlayStation.
So Tim was like, it would probably just be me, and I'm like, I'd rather the first time that you guys are on, I'd like to have both y'all on, and then after that, I'm fine with it just being you. Yeah. but anyways, so we the slot, and so we asked Jeff. And you asked why isn't Jeff your third chair? And so
I did.
Which is fine, and we love having Jeff on, but it's you're always busy, so you're always more than welcome to come back on. But we're trying to we talk to people. They're like, I'll come on. We had Jose on before we had Jeff on.
That was a good time. You guys had Amanda on. That was a good show.
Yes, that was before Jose, I believe. Yeah, we had Christian on before Amanda.
No, you had Christian on after Amanda.
Did we?
Come on, man. I'm sick of being your super fan.
But anyway, so we're gonna get Alan. We're gonna get Alan on. Gonna get try and get Chris on.
I miss playing games with him and hearing his voice. That guy's got a voice like butter. You can spread it over anything.
It does, but I haven't played a game with him since I think we tried to get back into Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
But anyways,
or Bloodborne. That was the last time I played him.
Bloodborne. But just trying to get some different people on. So, try and spread the love and see where it goes from there. But anyways,
get the community involved.
Yeah.
We're all here for the same goddamn reason. We like pushing buttons to make shit happen.
That's right, which I'm about to go do because I'm going to beat this boss and I'm going to be done with it, and then I'm probably going to go to bed. It'll take me 7 or 8 tries because the game's going to screw with me, but...
Right, that's I am actually going to go drink some more beer and listen to a record.
Nice.
And then probably pass out, wake up, and move shit tomorrow. So... Are you
off the rest of the week? Or
no, I work 5 to midnight tomorrow night. I work 9 to 9 on Wednesday. That's gonna be a fun time. 4:30 to 11:30 on Thursday, and then 4 to midnight. 5 to midnight Friday, 4 to midnight Saturday, 8 to 4 Sunday. For those of you keeping score, that's a lot of hours because I stopped doing math a while ago.
That is a lot of hours, bro.
When I'm not working, I'm going to be moving. So,
well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the one thing that's going to take the biggest chunk of time is doing my X-ray certification because we have to do that every 2 years as X-ray techs. I just need to actually
study, don't you?
Well, it's not really studying because I've got my stuff. I just need to read it and do it.
Yeah,
and that can be a 6 to 8 hour process. So it is what it is. I'll get it done. I'll be an X-ray tech come November, and I will be back harassing yo asses here on podcasts. And with that, banana and out.